Hello ladies and gentlemen, just here with the video of the day, and today I want to show you game number 2 between Maxim R and Praggnanandhaa, Grandmaster from India. This is the second game. The first was drawn. Basically, MVL made a draw exchange down, but with a couple of pawns, and he could play for win in the end game. But he decided to play with white pieces and save a little bit of energy, because when you're playing long tournament, you want to, sometimes agree to a draw and not to, push over your energy. Alright, so MVL is playing e4, he's a e4 player, c5, knight f3 and d6. Again, no Sveshnikov, no Najdorf, but a very good move anyway. d4, knight f6, knight c3, so you cannot play e5 because this check on a5, so knight c3 is forced. And knight to c6. It can transpose to some kind of Sveshnikov now with knight to b5, d6, something like bishop f4, e5, and this is kind of Sveshnikov, but MVL took, and e5. Now notice that this knight here is blocking this diagonal, so if black plays queen a5, it's not a check, so it's very known position. Knight to d5 and knight to e4. So white don't want, of course, to spoil the pawn structure on the queen side, and they work against. They have. This knight has perspective to jump to d6. This position occurred in Yesipenko against Tabasov, I think. I made a video on this game, and very popular position nowadays. Queen b6. So black forced to play f4, and now they try to undermine that white's king is a bit exposed. c4, check, and king e2. So if you are not a grandmaster, you would be surprised or think that black is much better because they cannot castle. Black is very well developed and they will castle kingside, but it appears that white's king normally is fine. If just according to the engine, yeah, of course, if I play this game with white, I will get checkmated quickly, but it's the engine chess, and so if you want to be a grandmaster, you have to know this. f5, again very standard, and this move has been played in Kasparov times as well. Attacking the knight and forcing this taking on f6, and black feels a little bit have more space after this exchange. Knight takes, bishop e3, and queen goes back. So this is all has been played hundreds of times. Knight d6, queen d6. So this is the position. I think about 5 more moves both players knew, but at this point there is some picture of the game what will going on. So white has 2 bishops obviously, and they have a little bit weaker king, and black has to develop the bishop and create some counterplay. So I think that black should be okay in this position. I don't see too much problem. They have a lot of moves, which is very important when you're playing, that you can create different kind of plans. So it means that your position has some dynamic. Bishop b7, just attacking this g2 pawn, and king d1. Again, it's the engine move. But of course, if you just not don't know this line, so very hard to play that like this. It's more natural to try to run to this f2, but of course now it's impossible with knight, e2, e4 fork, or different attacks on the king side. So it's not like that easy to understand that maybe king is safer on the queen side. c5, Pragu is sacrificing a pawn, but opens up the bishop and delays development of this f1 knight. Queen c5, bishop e4, transferring it to possibly more very good square anyway, and not allowing this king to go to c2, bishop e2, d6. White is pawn up, they have two bishops, and I think in this position queen d4, so there is some indication that white will have advantage, that within these last moves, including c5, black sacrificed the pawn, but they didn't receive anything crucial. Yeah, any sensible counterplay is not seen on board. Castles, king c1. Again, I'd say that with queens on board, black is fine. If it's like a blitz game, then I don't see why black is losing this game, even though, as I said, the material down. But they have this excellent counter-attacking chances with rook here and creating all sorts of threats against the king. And black's king is safe. Queen c7, Engine suggested to play a5, and after b3 play something like a4. Yeah, just exchange one pawn, and it's very important that if your rook stayed on this a8 square and you exchange the pawns, for instance, yeah, so you like save the tempo. Yeah, if you play rook to b8, you have spent a tempo on development. e5, so Engine doesn't like this. Engine again suggests this a5 move and trying to open up the game against the king. e5, it's basically the same idea, but just Engine is saying it's not that good. Takes, and queen c5. So in this position, white is ready to exchange the queens and have a very nice endgame. Yeah, when your king becomes very safe, you have all the dark squares, then of course white is much better. So Pragu declines it, king b2, connecting rooks, and knight to d5. One of the possible moves. I wouldn't play like this. It's looks really complicated. Engine suggests take on g2, saying that white is better. Knight to d5, and MVL took. So let's another option for white was bishop to g4, but it's about equal. So he took rook c8 and rook to c1. So idea is if queen goes to b5, then check here, and queen e7. It's very complicated. White is piece up, but king is hunted, and not that easy to defend. You have to play king a4, and no one wants to risk it because very easy to lose. So what MVL did, he just gave up the queen. Takes, and h6. So if black takes the d5, then it's immediately lost by black because they are losing their queen with this pin on the king. So it's impossible to take. h6 and d6. So what's going on here? White has just one piece and one rook for the queen, and have this very strong passed pawn. Yeah, it's important that this is dark square, d8 square, and black doesn't have the dark square bishop, and it's hard really to stop this pawn from moving forward. So Pragu took the pawn, and rook to d1, the most natural, and queen to e4. Engine says that it's a crucial mistake. He suggests to play bishop to c6, but again, this is a problem with engines that normally they very good defenders, and they can play passively, and they don't know what's the passivities, they just do the best move. But humans, they're taught differently. Yeah, when you play very passively, you cannot win the game. So that's why Pragu played this bishop. So it's like creates attacks. I'm again attacking the bishop, and well, just maybe there is some fork or something. But d7, just leaving the bishop unattended, and if black takes, then it's rook c8 and white queens. So it's not possible. Pragu played. Okay, so he took check here, and queen d8. Black resigned because they have a superior material advantage. All right, good game by MVL, and very nice queen sacrifice. Just using this pawn on d4, d5, just as a option to win the game. It like Win Kramnik style. Yeah, he was a big master of this passed pawns, and in his youth he won a lot of games like this. All right, thank you very much, and see you next time.